I'm going to be doing a video about piercing pain and like the most painful piercings, and it's going to be based off myself knowing as a piercer and the way people react, people's comments afterwards, that sort of thing, and also based off my own experience as I have had quite the abundance of piercings myself. Going off looking at this chart, hopefully it's here and not on top of my face because that could be embarrassing, and just talking about whether I think these are like the right, if they've given it the right star rating on like how painful it is, or if I think like it's completely wrong. Everyone feels pain differently, whether it's because of their pain threshold or just, you know, the nerves and that sort of thing in their body in that area. You could have a low pain threshold, but because of like that part of your body may not be painful for you. So like it really just depends, and you really can't know what it's going to feel like unless you get it done. But there's obviously some piercings that for the wide majority of people it's like not going to hurt at all. No matter like what kind of pain you're going in for, whether it's like after surgery pain or a tattoo or a piercing, you never know what it's going to feel like, whether it's on that part of the body or like just the fact that you've never had one before. You just have no idea, and that's what scares people. Basically, every piercing is going to have a different feeling because of the different gauges that it has been pierced with, or the gauge that the jewelry is. It all depends on the way the piercer has pierced, whether they've pierced with a needle that is the same size as the jewelry or a needle that is larger than the size of the jewelry. And the reason for doing that is so that you're basically blocking that area so that it's not it's hard to describe, but basically so that it's not going to bleed. Going off this chart, we'll start with ear. So on the chart, ear is saying that there is a green star for the lobe, meaning not painful. Completely correct. Lobes don't hurt. Next you have your helix, and it has 2 yellow stars, and yeah, I'd say 2 yellow stars. Like, it's not painful, but it's going to be a little bit more painful than a lobe piercing. And that's just generally because a lobe is generally pierced with either 20 gauge or 18 gauge, so that is quite thin. And then for helix, you're moving up to a 16 gauge. So it means that it's taking out more of your cartilage or skin as well. It's taking more out. It's going to hurt a little bit more, but it's still so quick that it's such a quick piercing that like it's not painful at all. Cartilage general, yeah, let's just say cartilage general, like if it's going in like your the flat area, no, it's not painful. It's the same, it's pretty much the same premise as a helix because it's so close. Your ear in that spot is about like the same amount of cartilage as well, so yeah, not very painful. Like, and I literally mean not very painful at all. Vertical lobe, fuck yeah, that's painful. They've put it as a 2. Like, it's not a super common piercing, but like basically it's like through, like from here and out the bottom of your lobe. So yeah, painful because like if you even have a feel yourself, everybody now touch your ear. Like if you feel that, that's like thick cartilage at the top there, and you're coming out through like soft. So yeah, you may think it's just the lobe at the bottom, but that's pretty thick cartilage at the top. 2 stars for vertical lobe, I disagree. I'd say, I mean, I haven't had it myself, but from like doing, like performing it, I don't know, maybe like a 3. Like they're saying the worst star is a 5. I'd say like a 3 for that one, because like if 2's nothing though, maybe a 4 then. If 2 is a helix, because if a lobe is, maybe I have to put the helix as a 1 as well. Okay, let's take it back a bit. So if we're looking at helix, they've put 2 stars. Let's do 1.5 because it's a little bit more than a lobe, but it's not bad. So same with cartilage general, 1.5. Vertical lobe will put a 3 on because it is more painful. Then you've got a rook. They've got that one as 2.5. Personally, I had it done and it, like, I hardly felt that. Personally, I'd give it a 2. So let's just stick with 2 for that one. Tragus, yeah, same thing. They've put a 2.5. Let's keep it at 2 because once again, not a painful one. Just a little bit of a pinch. Conch, they've put that at 2.5. Now, conch is a more difficult one because it's pierced with different gauges. Because it's pierced with different gauges, it's going to feel different. Personally, I like piercing with a 14 because I think it looks so much better with a 14. And a lot of people that I know pierce with a 14 as well, so 14 gauge for the conch, which means it's hella painful. Just because it is quite a thick part of cartilage in there. I had mine, let's not have a look because I took it out recently because it was a bastard. Say we're talking on 14 gauge, which is pretty stando, I'd give it a 4 because people hate that one. Like, a lot of people say it's even worse than an industrial, which once I get to that, you will see. You will see, not you. Mine, I got pierced with the 16 gauge because I was like, hell no, I'm not doing the 14 gauge. So I did that and it was nothing. So like at a 16 gauge, it's a pinch, it's a 2. Antitragus. I'll give that one a 3 just because of reactions of people. I haven't personally had it, but I think it's a little bit more of a painful one. So I'll give it a 3. They've given it a 3. Snug, they've given a 3. Snug's another hard one. I have mine. I didn't think it hurt at all. Like, that was probably one of my least painful. Like, yeah, I didn't feel a thing. It was just super easy, but then other people have said that it was painful. So like, I think I might have just had a super good experience because that was one that I was like shocked at how little it hurt. And off this, they're giving it a 3. I would give it a 0. I'd say 2 just for normal, most people. 2.5. We'll give it a 2.5. Industrial, they've given a 3. I disagree, bitch. I do not want to get mine done because everyone I pierce with them or everyone who I know who has one or have spoken to, they are not a fan. Industrial is pierced with a 14 gauge and you're getting 2 needles basically at once, one after the other, straight after the other. And it's just not a good time, especially like 14 when I mean, like, personally, I know it would hurt I know it would hurt me a lot, and yeah, people react in pain, and it's not just a pain of like, ooh, that hurt a little. It's like, fuck me, that was painful. So we'll give that one a 5 actually, because people hate that. Moving on to facial, you have eyebrow. 1. I mean, I haven't had my eyebrow pierced, but from piercing them, people don't give much of a reaction. And yeah, they don't complain or think it hurts. So like, it must be pretty painless. Nose, they've given it a 2. I'd agree with a 2 for that one. It doesn't hurt, but like, it's just a stingy sort of like, it's more than just the fact that it's like, why is my eye watering? I hate that. It's just kind of an annoying one that's just like, ugh. So like, if you punch yourself, it doesn't feel like getting punched in the nose, nothing like that, but it's just a sensitive spot, not painful though. So 2, I agree with. Septum is next. They've given it a 2.5. My personal experience, septum was painless. I will give a septum a 1. It goes through such a thin spot of skin, which is where it's supposed to go, like it's not supposed to hurt, that it's relatively painless. If it is hurting more than that, and if they're like pushing to get it through, it's gone through the wrong spot, and that's through cartilage, and that is painful. Lip, they have given a 2.5, and I disagree. Once again, from personal experience, this I've had pierced so many times. And it always hurt. It's not a fun one. It's just like it's just like gross because it's just a sensitive spot. It's in your mouth. Like, you think when you bite the inside of your mouth, like, it hurts. 2.5, hell no, I'd give it a 4. Moving down to the nipple piercings. They've put for a female that it is a 4 and for a male a 3.5. Definitely, I do agree that it hurts more for females. I would say for myself, nipple was the worst, and I would give it a 5. It's just like, to me, it's like having a sword shoved through your nipple. Like, It hurt a lot. And piercing them, a lot of people scream and a lot of people are in a lot of pain. And then you'll get the odd, very odd person who's like, it didn't even hurt. And I'm like, I don't believe you, bitch. But they, like, that could be completely correct. Sensitivity or even like the nerves in that area, it's just like so low that it didn't hurt them. I'll give it a 5 for sure. Not commenting on genital, soz. I don't pierce it, so I'm not going to comment on those. Sorry. So navel, regular. So just the top navel, they've given it a 1. From personal experience, I 100% disagree. I've had it done 3 times and it was hell on earth every single time. And I have seen it being hell on earth for so many people. But then you'll get people who it's like, oh, I didn't even feel it. So a lot of people say that they didn't feel it, but then a whole lot of people say that it is so bad. So like that's a tough one to give. That's like one that's like very, like almost 50-50. Yes, I'll give it a 1 for some people and I'll give it a 3.5 for other people. Inverse navel, 1.5. That's the bottom. I definitely find I've had that one too, and piercing them, it hurts people more. So I think that one is more of a 2.5 to 3. Navel surface, which I mean, it's so hard because some people call different piercings different things, but navel surface I'm taking as just above the like top navel. Insert a picture. I'm taking that one as navel surface and they've given that a 2.5. Yeah, okay, we'll stick with 2.5. Oral piercings. Tongue, they've given a 2. So yeah, I would agree with that one. It doesn't hurt people a whole lot. Smiley, 1.5. Yeah, I would agree with a smiley being like, there's like hardly any, it's just so thin, the smiley, that it's like so easy to get through and they hardly feel anything. Tongue web, I'd say it is more painful than a smiley, so like would give it a 2. It's a little bit thicker, only slightly. That is all in regards to the piercing pain chart. I hope it helped you maybe decide what you're gonna get. Leave a comment, let me know if you're gonna go and get something now and which one it is. Comment, like, and subscribe. And let me know if you want me to do any other piercing related videos, what sort of videos you'd be interested in, any questions you might have. And yeah, I'll answer those for you. Bye!